Okay, so crosstab query means you're effectively creating like a table, like a 2D table, where you have basically got rows and columns. Okay, this is what you have as a crosstab query. So crosstab is when you have rows and columns. Now, in the exam, they won't mention to you you have to create a cross-tab query. If I'm looking at a result like this, straight away you can see that it's got different columns. So it's basically got nationalities and it's got total of surname, how many of those people are from these countries, and how many, what gender they are, female or male, and so on. This is how it's being categorized. Okay, so how do we create something like this? Look at this. It's already been done for you. There is an example here where you've got the nationalities, the surnames, the female, and the male. Right. How this is done? How do we do this? So let me just explain how this is done. So the first thing is we go to create. Okay, I'm going to go through this process. Just watch carefully, please. Create. First thing is I'm going to click back on the query design. I do it as a normal query. So if I go to table, let me choose people. So the first thing that we need is we need the nationality. So we want the nationality here. Okay, I need the nationality. So if I run it, there we go. It'll give me all the nationality. If I go back to design view, I want to select sex here, which obviously is giving me all the males and the female. Right. If I go back to design view, you will see at the top here, these are all what we call a select query. I'm going to change that from a select query. I'm going to choose what we call a cross-tab query. Cross-tab query. There you go. I choose cross-tab query. So now if I run it, there you go. It's not going to let me do it because it tells me that I need some rows and column. So we get that. So now what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to choose. So we got sex here. I'm going to choose another one here. There we go. So let's have a look here now. So I'm going to choose crosstab. So I'm going to choose these are going to be so I can choose, like for example here, this is going to be rows or column. So let me choose that as column. I'm going to choose this as column. And if I run this now here, I need to choose this as rows. So let me just run this now. Okay, so that's not letting me here. So here, let me choose value. So you need to have a row, a column, and a value. So let me run this. So it's basically giving me some errors there. So I need to choose these to be group by count. Okay, so let me run this now. There we go. So what it's giving me straight away, you could see that it's categorized the nationality. So you basically need to play with this. You need to have one row, one column, and one value. That's what you need to do. Okay, so the idea is we want to have one row. Now if I change that to column, and if I change this to row, and I need to have one value, if I run it, it's gonna format it in this way. But I don't want it this way, I want it the other way. So if I go to design view, I want this to be row and this one to be column, and this is count. Now you can see the sex, I'm counting it. I can count it, I can do the average, I can do the total, I can do various things. I put this as value, run it, and I've got it exactly like I showed you earlier. So if I save this, and I'm going to call it cross tab, click OK, and I've got it this way. So if I go back to the task now, let me see if I could create something like this here. So it's telling me to create a cross-tab query for this. The number of people of each gender with eyes of each color. So how do we do this? So if I go to create, query design, table, people. Right, okay. So I need number of people of each gender with eyes of each color. Okay, so if I choose eyes and gender, run it here. So it's giving me all the eyes. So I need to be able to categorize the eyes and the gender. So if I go to this, first of all, I need to choose crosstab. And 1 second, I'm recording something. 1 second. So eyes and gender. So I've got number of people, each gender, and the eyes color. Okay. So if I make this as here, if I want to get this as rows, and here I'm going to put this as value and group as count. So run. Now it needs to have a um, it needs to have a column. Okay, so I've got the row, I need the column. So I need to put the nationality as well. There we go. Now it's important that it's in the right order, okay? So this is going to be row, this is going to be column, all the other way, and then gender here. And this is going to be my value. Run it. Okay, so now group by count. There we go, count. So run. Now you can see it's got all the countries and the eyes color. Now let me just organize it in a different way. Let me put this one as column. Let me put this one as row. And this is the value. See, that's why you need to play around with it. Run it, and I've got it this way. There we go. I've got the countries, and I've got the color of eyes, and it's counting how many there are. Okay, so that's how it's done in this way.